Let's look it over. All right. He went 19 to 29, 250. That's a good start. We could definitely probably cut down on the incompletions. 10 is a lot of incompletions, but it was his first game in college football, so I'm not mad at that. So let's go. The oh, get the fuck on. Okay. So let's go NBA first. Right? The reason why I say let's go NBA first, this nigga is silly, bro. The reason why I say let's go NBA first, because the season is about to start next week, and we're gonna be talking about it for a long time with the NFL. So basketball is a little farther away. We get it out the way right now, then we can keep going on with the other sports. So still, Cam Thomas, Malik Beasley, Jonathan Kuminga, Josh Giddey, Quentin Grimes, and Russell Westbrook. I feel like these are some really primo backups, starters that deserve spots, and obviously they're going to get signed, right? We got four restricted free agents, and then unrestricted with Russ and Malik. So I feel like Malik is going to get a minimum offer because of the bullshit with the gambling and how long he had to wait in free agency. A lot of deals were already passed out. Do I think he's going to come back to the Pistons? I don't know, unless he's going to take that BS deal that we're going to have to give him back because we already signed Duncan and Karras and stuff like that. Jonathan Kuminga is causing a lot of problems I'm seeing for the Warriors in free agency so far. If y'all don't know, the Pistons and the Warriors are my two teams. You're probably like, oh, bandwagon. Yeah, I was a Curry fan before he got to the Warriors, and I also was a fan of the Warriors before Curry got there. So suck a dick. But Josh Giddey. So let me continue with the Jonathan Kuminga. The importance of the Miami Notre Dame game, I can't even say the fucking Notre Dame game. Jesus fuck. Notre Dame game and Miami game is so important is because Jonathan Kuminga is at that game right now. If you know, Andrew Wiggins was traded off the Warriors because they grabbed Jimmy Butler. I think my prediction, book it now, Jonathan Kuminga gets traded for Andrew Wiggins back. They're gonna re-sign Jonathan Kuminga and then trade him for Andrew Wiggins. That's what I think my prediction is for the Jonathan Kuminga deal. I think they're gonna re-sign him to $140 million and then trade him. Whatever Andrew Wiggins' contract is, they're gonna sign him to that and then trade him to that. Let's look at that. 4-year, 100 mil. I say he'll sign a 4-year. Let's say 4-year, 123, 25 million. That's what I think Jonathan Kuminga is gonna get. Josh Giddey. Ooh. Because Josh Giddey did beat the Lakers last year. What is his AAV? Whoa, 30 million? 30 million? 30 million? I mean, he deserves 30 million more than Jonathan Kuminga does, if we being honest. I feel like Josh Giddey deserves 30 million before Kuminga does. But 30 million? Is that a steal? I guess. 120? 4 years, 120? Do you give that to Josh Giddey to be who he is? Because he doesn't even average more points than Quentin Grimes. All he does is pass the ball and rebound more, which he is a very good all-around player. But I heard Cam Thomas won like 40 M's. That's over with. Al Horford, I heard he was supposed to sign with the Warriors as well. DeAndre Ayton has not signed. Ben Simmons is still a free agent. That's important because Ben Simmons isn't even 30 years old yet. I know that y'all probably like, yeah, bro. But dead ass. I heard DeAnthony Milton has a handshake deal with the Warriors as well. They're just waiting on the what's that in the shit name? The Kuminga shit. Elfrid Payton, bro. What? Malcolm Brogdon is a good backup for a good team if you wanted to get him. But yeah, let's go back to free agency. Let's talk about some of the biggest free agent moves. Bro, Katie. Let's go. So We'll go like this. We'll go like this. Every NBA offseason, every free agent deal for all 30 teams. Right. First, the Atlanta Hawks. Signing mid and getting rid of mid to replace mid. That's what this Nickel from the Timberwolves, Luke Kennard from I don't even know who the fuck this is. Luke Kennard from the Clippers, Kristaps Porzingis on a 3-team trade. Clinton Capella, we'll see those. But Karis LeVert's on the Pistons, Larry Nance back to the Cavs. Niang went to the Celtics and they traded him again. They waived Roddy. Terrence Mann leaves to the Nets. I think he went to the Nets. We'll see. Chris Boucher, Luka Garza, Anthony Simons, and I heard this name before, but I don't know how good he is. Anthony Simons on the fucking trade for Drew Holiday was such a weird trade to me. I wasn't expecting that. Georges went to the Jazz, I see. Luka Garza signs after being with the Timberwolves. Chris Boucher leaves from the Raptors. I don't know what the Celtics are going to do. No Tatum. Jaylen Brown can't go left. Anthony Simons does make them still a competing team. But how competitive? They won't be better than the Pistons. I say 8 seed play in for the Celtics. In my opinion. 8 seed. We got the Nets. They got Michael Porter Jr., who's finally going to get a number 1 role unless they re-sign Cam Thomas. But I don't think he's going to come back. Re-sign some bench players. Haywood Highsmith traded for by the Heat. And like I said, Terrence Mann is here. Bro, I seen that nigga getting locked up by a teacher as a joke, but for real. Trey Mann signs a 3-year deal. I guess Trey Mann was hooping last year. Pat Connaughton, Spencer Dinwiddie. These are good depth pieces. Whoa, Colin Sexton is a Hornet. I like these. Whoever is the GM for the Hornets, I like these. These are some serious additions to make your team want to start playing better. They won't make you instantly a playoff contender because they're not that good, but they are going to make you a better team. And get rid of Mark Williams with the injuries, Nurkic with his fat-ass contract, Okogie wanted to go somewhere else, and then Misic was cool, but he's not really that good when you got Melo. Then you just picked up Colin Sexton and Spencer Dinwiddie as your 3 guards, with Trey Mann as another option as well. So I like those options. Trey Jones resigns. Lonzo Ball is a Cav. What the fuck? And then Isaac Okoro comes in a trade for Lonzo Ball. Bulls, mid. Probably going to be mid for like 5 years. Sam Merrill, the fucking shooter, got a 4-year deal. Yeah. Who's his agent? 4-year deal. $38 million to just sit in the corner coming off the bench? This nigga agent is goated. What the fuck? I need this nigga agent. $38 million fully guaranteed contract to shoot corner threes. Goated contract, guys. NBA money is different. NBA money is different. Like I said, Larry Nance. Ty Jerome goes to the Grizzlies. That's a good depth piece. Isaac Okoro. We've seen that. Dante Exum on a 1 year. Kyrie re-signed for 3 years with the injury. That's fire. And then they brought in D'Lo to replace Spencer Dinwiddie. I like that. Bruce Brown, Tim Hardaway Jr. in free agency, and Cam Johnson and Jonas Valanciunas for the Nuggets. See, you're just giving Jokic a more consistent shooter, a nigga who knows the system, and another nigga that's just gonna spam a lot of threes. This is a good backup. They're probably not gonna pick up what's that nigga name? Because they got Jonas Valanciunas, a good backup piece to bring in after Jokic gets hurt, or the double center if you have to go against a team with two bigs like the Mavericks or something like that. Sarge and Michael Porter are gone, but I feel like I said, a more consistent shooter in Cam Johnson. The Pistons, shout out to our team. Let's talk about the departures first. So, Simone, I felt like was a good player, but I don't know what he was really gonna do for us, like in the long term. He doesn't fit our timeline age-wise. He's not really running gun like we need. Tim Hardaway was really inconsistent in the playoffs. Dennis Schroeder played a really good veteran role for us last year. I feel like he played really clutch in some of those games, especially in the playoffs. But we got Kate, we got motherfucking Karras, we got Duncan, we got Ivy coming back from injury. Sasser has proved to be a capable scorer. And then Lenny Waters really didn't get enough time to play with us. I feel like they kind of just brought him in to take on salary cap for somebody else. Javonte Green is here. I did not know we signed Javonte Green, bro. He was just gonna be on the roster, and I didn't know. This nigga from the Bulls, yeah, I didn't know we signed that nigga. Yeah, we're just signing niggas. Shout out to Paul Ball Reed. The Warriors have done nothing except lose fucking Kevon Looney. Warriors, bro. Can we fucking make a move, please? As a fan, like, it feels like at this point you just kind of saying, fuck us. Like, get that shit handled with Kuminga. Sign motherfucking Al Horford. Sign back D-Milk. Sign back GP2. And let's run this shit back, man. Because look at this shit. This is what the niggas that we competing with is doing, chat. This fucking Rockets re-signed Steven Adams to a 3-year deal, probably worth some bullshit. Aaron Holiday, Jeff Green, old ass Jeff Green. We got Jabari Smith, a 5-year deal. What the fuck did he get? Bro, how do you have Jabari Smith and KD on the same fucking team? Please tell me what the fuck that contract is. Are you serious? They fleeced him. What? Oh, it's a rookie scale deal. He's still on a rookie scale? That's cheating. Then they signed Clint 3-year, KD in a trade, DFS 4-year deal, Josh Okogie deal. You trade some defense, you trade some young pieces, some bench guys, a very inconsistent high pick. Get rid of them. The Rockets are going to be serious next year. Here for me, KD is going to want them to be serious. I'm going to say defense is their biggest problem. To me, I'm going to say their defense will be their biggest problem. Because Jeff Green's old. Jabari Smith was getting cooked by Steph. Jason Tate is just a bench guy. And Fred VanVleet is fat and old. The Pacers are screwed. Miles Turner left. James Wiseman and Isaiah Jackson, 2 bench pieces who both got hurt last year, re-signing, and then they brought in another center. So the only thing they've done this offseason is re-sign centers. They're cooked. The Clippers got Nicholas Batum and James Harden to re-sign. What's good, Bugs? Bradley Beal in that trade is fire. I think this is a team people need to be paying attention to. I feel like this is kind of going over people's heads. Everybody is kind of like writing off Bradley Beal and all of this. Look at this fucking team. Look at who they've resigned this year. Think about who they still have on their team. They still have Kawhi Leonard and James Harden. So on top of that, they're going to get a Bradley Beal who just took a year off. Right? Took a year off. John Collins, who's a healthy, great young piece. He's not super young, but he's younger than Bradley Beal, James Harden, and fucking Chris Paul. You know what I mean? Brook Lopez in a good part of his career still. I don't really care about Ty Washington. And then you got rid of 3 shot chucking bums. You bring in a re-sign for Nick Batum who plays hard for you. James Harden who still probably got 4 or 5 good years. Bradley Beal, John Collins, Brook Lopez, Chris Paul, who just played every game of the season last year. I'm gonna just say that. Like, come on, watch out for the Clippers, man. Watch out for the Clippers. Then got the Lakers, Luka, Jackson on a re-sign. I don't know why they re-signed Jackson Hayes that they're completely not playing him. Ayton in a free agency and Marcus Smart, but don't forget about this Jake LaRavia. This is not a super contender. They didn't get better. The only thing they added was a center. Yeah, this team is still going to struggle in the middle because behind LeBron, behind Luka, you have no consistent scorer. You know, Jake is a cool bench piece, but you have no consistent scorer if they double team LeBron and Luka has to go hero ball. They showed it last year. It just doesn't work. So I feel like I'm going to have to see everybody play their role under JJ Redick in his second year. And do we think we're going to see that? Fuck no. Jaren Jackson on the here, bro, we're going to suck deal anyway. You know? That's what I think he's on. Jaren Jackson on a here, we're going to suck anyway deal. Santi Aldama on a bench deal. Cam Spencer, because he hooped in the, what's that shit called? In the summer league. KCP to sit and shoot corner threes because Bane's gone. Ty Jerome to play when Ja's out for shooting guns. Jock Landale to replace J Huff for leaving. KCP is supposed to replace this nigga. Cole Anthony is supposed to be this nigga. Because I don't know why they traded for him from the Magic and then waived him. It's kind of stupid. Simone Fontecchio, Davion Mitchell with the re-sign, and then Norman Powell in the trade. Whoa, Kyle Anderson. Yeah. These are just kind of like Miami Heat. These 3 guys are kind of like Miami Heat names that you know as Miami Heaters. So Kevin Love leaving, I thought he was going to retire there. You know, now he's in Utah with the rest of the white people. These don't really help you. Dry safe, Sarah. Appreciate you stopping in right quick. The Bucks have a lot of free agent re-signings. Gary Trent to a 2-year deal. Jericho Sims, who I think is a good backup who just needs a little bit more shine. 7-foot dude who used to play for the Knicks, but he was playing behind Mitchell Robinson and Cat, so there was no way for him to play. Shout out to my nigga Ryan, signed a 3-year deal. Went to high school with this nigga. Torian Prince resigns. I don't know why they really let him resign. He's kind of ass. Bobby Portis on a resign. They're probably going to trade him. KPJ. Let's see if he can have a resurrections season. I don't know who Chris Livingston is. And then Thanasis. Shout out to bro coming back to play with bro. Cole Anthony. Amir Coffey, Gary Harris, and Miles Turner. I feel like Miles Turner, Bobby Portis resign, and Cole Anthony are good pickups. I feel like those are good pickups. Cole Anthony is probably gonna get PG1 role. Ryan probably gonna get PG2. Excited to watch the Bucks this year, just to see what's gonna happen. After you bring in Dame, the experiment doesn't work. You got a timeline because Giannis wants to win. What do you do now? Can't wait to see that. Shout out to the Bucks. The Timberwolves, I think, are gonna take a huge drop off. Huge. Anthony Edwards played a bunch of hero ball last year. You re-signed Joe Ingles. He's old. That's kind of like a fucking, what's that nigga name? Nigga on the Heat that played for so long that just kept getting re-signed for whatever reason. What the fuck is his name, y'all? You get what I mean. Bench piece. 3 years for Julius Randle. I guess he was hooping for you consistently in the playoffs. You got to pay the guy. And then Naz Reid, you either give him this 5-year deal or he's going to go somewhere else. A good backup bench. Who cares? Herb Jones re-signing to this extension. Super important. The reason why it's super important is because, A, this New Orleans Pelican team 3 years ago, was making the playoffs as the 8 seed and giving the 1-seeded Suns a lot of trouble. Right? You bring in Sadiq Bey, who just tore his ACL, so you don't know how good he's going to be. A great backup center in Kevon Looney could start for you. Iron Man plays a lot of games as a Warriors fan. I know about this guy. And then Jordan Poole, you bring these two guys in, former Warriors, to play with each other, some Milwaukee guys who have some good camaraderie. I'm fucking with this team. Probably going to use it on 2K. We don't care about Bruce Brown. CJ McCollum, fuck you for the CBA. You're the reason why Jordan Poole had to leave and in the first place. Even before the punch, he was going to have to leave because we don't have enough money to pay all of these players. And then Kelly Olynyk, who gives a fuck. Mikal Bridges on a 4-year extension. The nigga who they trade 6 first-round picks for, I would hope you sign him to an extension. You traded your entire future away for this nigga. He needs to bring you a ring, or else that was a waste of a trade. Jordan Clarkson on a 1 year. That's a good backup piece. And then the nigga who dunked on LeBron James for a 2-year deal. I'm not going to say his name out of disrespect. I don't want to say his name. You know, I don't want to fuck it up. So out of respect, I don't want to fuck it up. Not out of disrespect. I don't want to say his name. But the nigga who dunked on LeBron. Knicks, fuck the Knicks. We don't give a fuck about the Knicks. This right here. You do not understand. Everybody was like, how are they going to afford this? They won't give a fuck in 2027. They just want a ring. They paid the niggas that won them a ring. They're not going to pick anybody up. They got a nigga who sat on the draft, who they drafted last year, that sat on the bench the entire time. The Oklahoma, I can't fucking speak. The Thunder are set to be good for 3, maybe 4 years, as long as they keep all their bench pieces. Look at all these years. 4, 5, 3, 5, 3. 5 years for J. Will. 5 for Chet. 4 for Shea. Making this probably the most paid big 3 in the league. Paolo signed a 5-year we're going to suck deal. If you see 5-year contract extensions, it's because either we're really good and we're not going to be able to afford you when the time comes, or we're going to suck and we need you to just hold it down. Desmond Bane, Tyus Jones, that's some good depth pieces to lose these guys. Pretty central, like neutral pickups slash additions for the Magic. Probably just going to be regular again. This is hell. I'm just going to say they're going to suck. I'm not paying attention to this at all. They signed a bunch of old niggas. Eric Gordon, Kyle Lowry back. Trent Watford from the Nets. They are not serious. Daryl Morey eats dick for breakfast. Devin Booker on a 2-year. I've seen $60 million per year. Dylan Brooks. Pick up Jalen Green. I don't know who this nigga is. Mark Williams. So starting lineup's probably going to be Jalen, Devin, Dylan, power forward, Mark Williams. They lose their entire starting lineup probably, except for D-Book, and then they swap it out. So this is going to be a different team than it was last year. Look for some early struggles. This team, I feel like they had enough centers, so they didn't need him, and they had Scoot and Shaden, and Anthony was gonna have to get repaid, so this made sense. Bring in a vet, re-sign Dame, so that when he gets healthy, he can play. Then you're gonna have Dame next to Scoot and your young guys who are playing right now, who are also really good. They proved a couple years, these last 2 years, they can win some games against some good teams. Just got to keep getting better. I like the Portland Trailblazers. The Kings are in hell. I don't really give a fuck about that because look at who they signed. Doug McDermott. Who the fuck gives a fuck about Doug McDermott in 2025? You know what I mean? Who cares? Watch for the sign and trades with Malik Monk. He's supposed to be leaving still, so watch out for that. The fucking Spurs. Let's talk about these guys for a little minute. The Spurs are a good team. Good young team. Just drafted second pick overall. I think Dylan Harper was second pick overall. Something like that. Feel me? Good team. Good young team. Obviously have Wimbanyamas. You know what I'm saying? Win bananas. He's coming off that blood clot. Let's hope he's going to be healthy. You signed some depth pieces. Luke Cornett to try to play the same Wimby role. This is good for your backup players who are used to playing with Wimby, having a taller guy out there who kind of does the same thing on the defensive end, so it doesn't force your young guys. A 4-year deal is crazy, but it doesn't force your young guys to change the way that they play when you bring your 7'4" guy out of the game. De'Aaron Fox to 4-year. That means he's want to bring in, and he brought the ball nigga from the Bulls over here. Kelly Olynyk, like I said, nobody cares about him, and then he's gonna just sit in the corner and shoot whenever he gets in the game. Shout out to Lindy Waters for getting paid. Malachi Branham goes to the Wizards. Probably salary dump. Sandro, a bench player who just had a long ass name that the fans kind of liked. Chris Paul goes to the Clippers off the re-sign, but nobody gives a fuck about Blake Wesley. Jakob Poeltl re-signs. Garrett Temple, like I said, Spurs could be good. Keep letting them grow. De'Aaron Fox isn't that old. Women's second year, third year. They got a lot going on over there. Just like I just said, drafted second pick overall. Poeltl, 4-year. Like I said, just a bunch of swap outs. Center, just filling spaces. The Spurs just drafted Ace Bailey. Got Kyle Anderson, Kevin Love, Georges, Yusuf Nurkic. So some good depth bench pieces because you lose some good depth. So I like these, and then picking up Ace Bailey, kind of just like I said, one of those teams that you're just swapping your Johnnies out. Like I don't know who this nigga is, but he's on a two-way, so nobody cares. Wizards, NBA hell. Let's look at it. Marvin Bagley, he's just getting paid. Shout out to Marvin Bagley, city guy getting paid. Branham, Dylan Jones, we don't know who that is. CJ McCollum, Kelly Olynyk has been traded 4 fucking times. Jesus Christ. Cam Whitmore. So yeah, Cam Whitmore, CJ McCollum, Malachi Branham are the big pickups from this because Malachi's a young guy, Cam's a young guy, and then CJ's a vet. You lose Sadiq. Like I said, you sign him and then he tears his ACL, so you don't get to see him. Rashad Holmes is a great backup piece if you could use him in 2K. Yeah, y'all thought I was gonna say real life in 2K. Nobody cares about Kelly. You lose Jordan Poole, young guy with a lot of star power, and then you waive Marcus Smart because he didn't really play. Um, that was NBA free agency. I mean, I feel like, that was a good rundown of what the fuck is going on. What do y'all think? I feel like that was a good rundown. Let's get into the baseball segment. Let's get into the baseball segment.